listen, I admit I don't know a whole lot about religion. I already discussed this. I'm not a person who partakes, but it baffles me that perhaps when you go speak to your priest or your pastor or your rabbi, that there is supposed to be an expectation that they take copious notes of that conversation. At least that's what the prosecutor seems to think, because when they were talking to Sheila Kavanaugh today, that is Chaplain Kavanaugh, who works at Brigham and Women's Hospital, for some reason they thought that she would take exact, precise minutes of every single conversation she had with Lindsay Clancy. What I love about Sheila Kavanaugh, when she first started talking, I thought, okay, this is going to be hard on me, because she talks very slow. And it's really methodical, and she's very kind and very gentle. And I'm a little bit more of, okay, let's spit it out. Let's go. Come on. But she had the absolute perfect tone for the defense strategy, for the jury. She has a master's degree in theology. She's a board certified chaplain. And even though she was so kind and so patient when she was speaking, she slammed in the greatest zinger when the prosecutor said, well, why didn't you write it down? Why isn't this in any of your notes? And she said, because I'm not there to write detailed notes. I'm there to bear witness to their suffering. Considering whichever Beau it was, kept objecting every time she would say, Lindsay feels immense grief. Objection. Lindsay talks frequently about her children. She carries immense emotional struggle. Objection. So they didn't want her ever to say that Lindsay was still sad, that Lindsay was grieving, that Lindsay was remorseful. They didn't want to hear that. She didn't want to hear that Lindsay was still in pain, because that's the last thing you want the jury to feel. Remember, Lindsay is supposed to be a cold-blooded murderer who shows no remorse, who shows no regret, who planned this entire thing out. She calculated down to the minute. She sent her husband on an errand. She calculated exactly how much time it would take while he was gone, and then she cold-heartedly, without even raising her heartbeat, she killed her children and then faked her suicide. That's their story. But when you have Sheila Kavanaugh up there saying, yes, I work at Brigham and Women's, and while Lindsay was there as a patient of that hospital, it was my job. Yeah, I counsel all of the patients that need my guidance. But then since Lindsay went to Tewksbury, Kavanaugh's visited her 200 times. And when asked why, she said, well, we've built this trusting, comfortable rapport, and I felt she still needed the continuity of our relationship. This is a woman who's doing this, from what I understand, on her own time, because she recognizes this is somebody with a very troubled soul. And I think that came across today in front of the jury. After her testimony, the judge sent the jury home. So he sent them home really early this morning. It was probably before 11 a.m. Told them to come back tomorrow, and it was going to be a longer day. I suspect Reddington has a couple more witnesses. And then my guess, tomorrow's Friday, so my guess is that the defense will rest. We may get to closing arguments. That might be on Monday. I think this gets in the hands of the jury probably by Tuesday morning, maybe Tuesday afternoon. And I don't know. I've never been good at predicting how long juries will be out. So we'll back in court tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.